Hello everyone. Let us discuss about continuation of the concept of vital force. Let us start with the aphorism 11, that is vital force in disease. So vital force in disease, when a person falls ill, first thing to get deranged is a self-acting vital force which is present everywhere in the organism. This vital force is acted upon dynamically by a morbific agent which is inimical to the life. Here, how will you come to know that the vital force is diseased? It expresses itself through normal sensation and function. This is a health. Okay. So, in disease, what happens is it expresses itself through morbid symptoms, that is abnormal symptoms to the physician and to the observer. So now everyone started asking Hahnemann that how can you say that there is something called as vital force or something called as energy, right? He is talking in terms of energy. So for that Hahnemann takes some of the examples from the universe and tries to give the example in his footnote about the dynamic influence, about the power, right? So here you see that he is giving example of sun, moon and the earth. Okay, moon is revolving around the earth and what is making it revolve around the earth is only energy. Can you see anything material there, material between them? And at the same time, during full moon days, the tide goes to the ebb, the highest point, right? So what is causing all these? There is some hidden energy, there is some power, okay, that is doing all these things. But we cannot recognize sensible connecting link. There is no sensible connecting link between the cause and effect. There is effect we can see and there is a cause we can see, but there is no connecting link present here, right? So such effect Hahnemann calls it as dynamic, virtual, which is a result of absolute, specific, pure energy and action of one substance upon the other. Okay. He gives one more example of magnet. Magnet tries to pull the iron bar towards itself, iron fillings towards itself. You find there is no connection between that, but only energy which is doing all this action, and it is purely immaterial, invisible, conceptual and inherent energy. This is called as dynamic energy, right? So you cannot see any lever, any hook, any rope and nothing you see, but they get attracted. Morbidly affected vital force. So here, what do we mean by morbidly affected vital force? The vital force which is diseased. It expresses itself through signs and symptoms. And when these all signs and symptoms have been disappeared, it gives rise to recovery of the health. And this happens under the treatment where you are transferring the energy through homeopathic medicines. So now in 13th aphorism, Hahnemann is trying to tell you a difference between old school people and homeopathic physician. See, already we have studied aphorism 1. In this we have told you how the old school people used to treat these diseases and what is actual aim of the physician. That time we have explained all these things, right? So now what he says is in old school people thought that disease is material in nature. Hence, they always thought of removing the material from the body. See, from whole they want to remove. And they want to remove from the knee. They want to remove the disease. Material, some material they want to get it out. But whereas we believe in energy getting disturbed. Aphorism 14, Hahnemann tells that when there is some morbid phenomena in the vital force which is curable, then it makes itself known through the signs and symptoms. This arrangement is made by the God himself, right? So whenever a patient comes to you with signs and symptoms, see here, see what are the symptoms of the brain, what are symptoms of the nose, joints, like that. So whenever something goes wrong, a patient comes to you, you will have to counsel them by telling that no, don't worry, this is body is make trying to make us know that yes, I am suffering, please take care of me. Okay, so always warning signs are better than not having any signs and directly go to the last stage of the disease. Okay, this too happens. But in aphorism 15, Hahnemann speaks about holistic concept. Okay, organism is material in investment of the life. It is conceived, it is perceived only when animation is given to it by instinctively perceiving and regulating dynamics. Okay, so body, there is a body which is material and you have vital force which is dynamic in nature. Vital force is not perceived without body and body is of no use without vital force. Got it? Hence, both of them hence together constitute a unity. Only it is our mind which is separating both of them. Right? In aphorism 16, he, he continues telling that already we have seen that vital force is dynamic in nature. Okay. So if at all it is dynamic in nature, if at all this has to be get disturbed by something, that has to be dynamic in nature. At the same time, if you want to make it all right or you want to remove inimical things, then you will have to supply with the energy itself. You have to give the, this has to be removed by physician from the spirit like dynamic power of the medicine, which can act on the spirit like vital force. Understood? When there is a dynamic action on the vital force of the remedies, from the remedies, the restoration takes place. So this, for this he tries to give examples. See here we are talking of something called as homeopathic medicines, but there are some other dynamic causes which are causing diseases. They will be helped through the same means. For example, imagination. This we all have come across in one or the other way, where there is a, you have gone to see a patient who might be having some cancer or some heart attack or something very severe, and you go want to counsel the patient, and at the same time you bring the disease back to home, telling that if anything goes wrong, you start feeling that heart is there's something wrong with the heart. Somebody dies in your family, or in your friends, then every moment anything goes wrong or you get any symptom, you start feeling that maybe I'm going to get heart attack, might be I'm going to get the cancer, like that. Okay, this imagination itself will bring lot of symptoms in you. They might mimic heart attack itself, right? And when the patient comes to us, if you come to know that this is mere imagination, then you don't have to give any medicine to treat that disease as a heart disease, but you just have to counsel him, logically explain him that it is mere imagination which has created fear, and that fear has brought all these symptoms in him. Once he understands the depth of the disease and depth of the problem, he will be cured automatically without any medicine. That means the imagination has brought the disease, counseling has cured the disease, right? So let us go to next example. A warning dream itself also can cause lot of troubles in people. There are so many people who keeps coming to us by telling that they have seen a dream that somebody is killing them and they are going to die tomorrow, or they are going to die after some time, or they are going to have some disease. But again, all these fears, fear itself is a biggest disease. If all these fears are removed from that person, again he will be all right. A superstitious fancy. This is very rampant in our country. Every next disease you see, superstition will be the cause. And I have seen one movie here, I don't remember the name of the movie, where Amol Palekar was the actor. Okay, so in this movie what happens is, this fellow goes to a astrologer, you know, the parrot, the persons who keep parrot near them. This fellow goes to him to ask about his destiny. Then the parrot removes the one paper, and in that paper it has been written that you are going to die, this person is going to die after 21 days, right? So this person now, wherever he goes, then he starts feeling that now I have left with 20 days, now I have left with 15 days, I'm left with 10 days, like that. This all that he has taken it to so much into the heart that at the 21st day he suffers from heart attack. And we find that this superstition has caused disease in him, death in him. Means he is very near to death. He will not die, but he was very near to death, and his recording shows that he definitely had MI. Whereas very healthy person just went to a astrologer, he brought the disease back to home. Okay, so these all things have to be taken care very properly so as to get the patient out of the disease, right? Solemn prediction of death would occur at certain day or hour. Frequently produces all signs commencing disease, increasing disease, approaching death. See here, it's very important. Death itself at the hour of announced death itself. यहाँ पे we saw that he got disease, MI. But here, when solemn prediction of death has been done, then death itself can occur at that hour. See that powerful your mind is. Can we see the mind? But it is that powerful, which could happen with the simultaneous production of the inward change correspond to the state observed externally. In this case, I would like to tell one example where we have seen that there's one person who has been jailed. He was supposed to be hanged. Okay. Our doctor go to him and tell that anyway you are going to be hanged. Tomorrow I will bring a snake which has got a very severe poison in it. It's going to kill you in a second. You will not be harmed, neither you are going to get injured, neither you are going to suffer the death. Okay. But whereas if you are hanged, you might suffer from some of the problems and you will come to know that that is occurring. But whereas just by this in a second you will die and you will not have any problems. So this guy accepts, and on the particular day of death this fellow is been put on with the cover to his face, and what they do is three pins they take and they just touch the person. He thinks that I have been bitten by a snake, very poisonous snake. Okay, and that he dies on the spot. Okay, this is not surprising, but when they take his body to the postmortem, we see that there were a signs of the poison in his body, right? So see, mind itself can create certain things if at all that deeply it is been put in the mind of some person, then body starts changing. So this is what is the energy, this is what is your mind. Okay, so all these things explain you how is that vital force or energy acting. In such cases, health can be suddenly restored by means of moral remedy, that is by dissolving these cunning deception. See here, now what is moral remedy? What you are counseling? What you are, so in such case, if you find that such a case has come to you, what you will have to do? Rather than searching a medicine for him, you should try to give him a moral remedy. Okay. 17th aphorism says that once you have removed the totality of symptoms, you have cured the whole case, which we have already seen here. See, in 7th aphorism, we have in detail explained about this. Your continuation of 17th aphorism also tells you that removing of the disease in its whole extent, that is annihilation of the disease, and this is only aim of the physician. So he should only think of helping the sick. And we should be thankful to God that He has made us a way to understand what disease is through totality of symptoms. Now in 18th aphorism, Hahnemann speaks to us that totality of symptoms is the sole guide to direct us in the choice of the remedy. Okay, so vital force expresses itself through totality of symptoms. Thank you so much for patience hearing. If you have any queries, let me know in the comment box.